Hello everybody, whoever's here early. We're just standing around here waiting for Chase to show up with a camera to do his job. It's pretty much normal stuff around here.
Chase doing his job?
Chase doing his job? No way. You know what I'm excited about though is we're gonna give away some stuff tomorrow. And everybody has a chance to do it. It's gonna be really cool.
What's going on, Shockeronis?
There's Mitch. Hi guys. Chase once again, is behind the camera so everybody can give Chase some shit during this whole process. Please, he deserves it. I've got my shock encyclopedia over here, Mitch, who can spring off any preload crossover number for every spring kit we have at a moment's notice. It's kind of weird and freaky. But today we're going to be talking about limit straps. There's a limit strap. This is actually the prototype kit that we built first. If you look at the upper bracket, Chase, that's still raw. We never even anodized it. We just threw that on there for our testing, and that set has never come off this car. And that was about 9,000 miles ago. But I digress. Let's talk about limit straps. Over on the workbench, we have our limit strap kit, and we've got a couple of shocks internally taken apart so we can show you guys what actually happens. Why do we need limit straps? Well, there's a couple of reasons. First, extension clunk is the main reason. When your suspension droops all the way out, when you jump the car, everything hangs, or in big whoops, they drop all the way off. Maybe in the dunes, when you crest a dune and drop off the other side, that right side has a big clunk. That is the suspension falling all the way out and hanging on the shock. When it hangs on the shock, you pick up that clunk, and that clunk means that you're causing a bit of damage to the shock, basically. Now, most of the shocks are strong enough to put up with this for the life of the UTV. That's why we always told people just deal with it, because it's just kind of annoying, but it's not going to hurt anything. Well, that's true, but now that everyone's throwing 33s and 35s on cars and the extension weight, unsprung weight is getting heavier, the load on the shock is getting higher, and we're starting to see some failures in brand new UTVs. What is actually causing that? Well, over here on the bench, not sure the best way you can see this, but this is a Walker Evans shaft assembly, and this is the internals that's hiding inside the shock body normally. When you hit a bump and it compresses, the car would be completely compressed and landing on the ground like this. As you jump it and the tire falls out, this is the seal head and the piston assembly coming down. These two come together, and see where this extended piece slides into the cup. That is a hydraulic bump stop, and the process of squirting oil out of that is what slows this assembly down as it gets into that stage. That is designed to stop this or slow it down before it clunks factory. It only works for factory wheel and tire weight. As soon as you add another wheel and tire on there, this isn't enough hydraulics to stop it, and this is what you hear. That's the extension clunk that you hear as it transfers through the body of the shock and into the chassis. So as this bangs on the end, what's going to fail eventually is this little piece of shock shaft with the nut that holds the whole piston assembly on. What happens is it shears that right at the washer. This pops off, piston pops off, and the shaft comes right out of the shock. So this is the noise in a Walker. Here's a Fox. Fox assembly. Fox has an extension spring. So this spring, when it's fully extended, here's compressed. Now it's drooping out. I'm not going to be able to push this very much. See if you can see this. But I can only pull, 100 pounds on that. It's a 250 pound rate. So as this extends, this spring is slowing the assembly down. It's not enough spring to slow the extension down once you get past stock wheel and tire weights. So again, as soon as you put wheels and tires on it, a Fox extension clunk is the same as a Walker. Jeff, come on in. So either way, the same thing's going to fail. It's going to be this portion of shaft up at the top. That pops off, piston comes off, shaft exits the shock.
Is there one that's worse than the other, Justin, as
Well,
far as sound?
Yeah, I would say that the Walkers are louder because the extension stop, this hydraulic stop, it's definitely aluminum on aluminum. When you get into the Foxes, it has to compress this whole spring before it gets metal to metal. So this has, it won't make as much clunk as the walkers do right away. You have to put a lot heavier system on this to have a problem. But they all pretty much do. So when you buy wheels and tires, you buy aftermarket arms, or you buy a spring kit that might speed up the rebound at the end, you're gonna pick up that clunk. Super common, it's common in stock cars too. So why limit straps? Well, limit strap is designed to stop the overall extension before that shock hits that extension clunk period. So I've got a long strap on here, this would be for a rear, but basically as the shock is compressed and fully extended, the strap is going to stop the shock. We'd like it to happen about 1/4 of an inch before it's fully extended and hits that clunk point, which would damage the shock. So in our strap kit, there's lots of strap kits out in the market, but the way we designed ours is a billet aluminum upper clamp. It clamps to the body of the shock. At the head, it's also clockable, so you can put it on the car in different positions, which is helpful for different models. It also is the only one that is completely adjustable at the shock body mount. So this is super important because all straps, no matter what strap material you use, will stretch from the point where they're brand new to where they find a happy spot after some use. Usually it's about 200 or 300 miles where they stretch and then stop their stretching. But during that time, they can stretch as much as an inch, inch and a half. So we want to be able to sneak up on that adjustment. A lot of people will just tell you, hey, just buy a strap that's 2 inches too short. That way it stretches an inch and then it stops at an inch. But most straps are made in 1 inch increments. So that means you're going to choke the system up way too much and lose some travel that you should be using. With this, you can adjust it exactly to the distance that you want. So as the strap stretches over the life of the strap, you can just bring it up 1/4 of an inch and not lose any travel. Super important in this system compared to most. Also, ours have an extension tether. This tether wraps around the coil spring. It keeps the strap in position because imagine if you didn't have this tether and the shock compresses, the strap is hanging out to the side quite a bit. And it can hook on sway bar links, it can hook on brake lines, it could hook on anything that's in the way. And as soon as you jump the car, it's gonna go bang, it's gonna rip off whatever's on the car. So this keeps the strap tied right to the spring so it doesn't stick out. If you look at some race car applications, you're gonna see the straps held to the vehicle with a bungee cord right in the middle, so it'll pull the strap over to the chassis into a safe spot. You see that on a lot of rear suspension cameras for trophy trucks. As that compresses, all the straps are pulled out to the sides and out of the way. Did you have a question, Mitch?
Yeah, the Alpha and Alpha. Why don't they put straps on from the factory?
Straps are expensive, and factory has to keep a car at $20,000. We're not gonna buy these things if they're $40,000, $50,000. Well, I mean, maybe we will. Everybody used to say that nobody would buy one at 20 grand.
According to the new electric car,
here we are.
I don't think anyone's buying a plate.
Yeah, who knows? I mean,
grand.
the sky's the limit on this stuff, but ultimately it's money. You know, straps are not cheap, especially in production. You're talking about a Polaris production run of 5,000 units a week just in XPs. 5,000 times maybe at their cost $100 for straps. It adds up pretty damn quick. So it's always going to be the cost factor. And if they can keep the thing in factory stock form, not making noise, then why would they need a strap? It's your fault if you've added the wheel and tire and you have to put a strap on it on your own. That's basically where the mentality is.
One more here, sorry, from ELP Square. Will it affect the articulation?
Absolutely not. Straps don't affect any overall travel. There is no restriction other than the length of the strap. And again, if it's adjustable like ours is, you can tighten up that system just to 1/4 of an inch. Keep it 1/4 of an inch from fully extended. So you're losing no articulation, you're losing no travel worth worrying about either. So if you look at this race car, you've got strap tether holding onto the spring, you've got the overall strap mount and clevis. You notice this is loose. Well, that's designed to be that way. We want the straps to ride inside that clevis fairly loose so that when the system is extended and this gets tight, it pulls this perfectly straight. Because if the ends of the straps are crooked sideways when it goes fully straight, it tends to cut the strap. So you want to make sure that these tabs on both ends are always straight when it's got tension. This is a stainless steel spacer on the bottom that we supply with our straps. This stainless steel spacer is 1 inch in diameter. The reason that's important is because a lot of people supply straps with an aluminum spacer that's 3/4 of an inch in diameter. Well, that aluminum gets crushed, that aluminum will bend over side to side and it'll bend the bolt. So we do a high grade stainless. It's a lot stronger and a larger diameter, so it can't bend. We've got, I would say, 1,000 limit strap kits out on the market. We have no bent bolts. We don't have any failures in upper clamps or clevises. The only thing we've ever seen are basically tearing of the strap when the lower clevis, when the lower tab is not tightened perfectly straight. It's tight and crooked and it'll tear the strap.
Justin, we have some people talk about how they kind of help to assist the CVs.
So straps also help the overall suspension in CV in that sometimes if you have the extension stop in a walker or the coil spring break in a Fox, the extension of the shock will come out too far. Now, the factory runs this stuff fully drooped out at its maximum CV angle. So if you add another inch of extension to it, then you're gonna overextend the CVs. You can possibly pull the axle right out of the CV and pop the clip off. You can put too much angle on the CV, which will completely destroy the CV, blow up stars, blow up cages, and cut boots. So CV life is extended with straps because you know you're not gonna have an overextension.
More questions we got, Mitch. I know we got some out there.
Yeah, we got one from Sergio Tucker. Do you guys make them for the 2019 YXZ 1000R with the RC2?
So I'm not sure if we have that kit out yet. Actually, I don't think that we do, but we are actually working on that kit right this second. Mitch just reminded me that that's the Yamaha that we have in the shop right now. So we'll have straps for it very soon.
How about the Can-Am X3 base model?
Yes, we have straps for that car as well, already on the site. Just go to the site and check it out.